her any mind because she was an ugly soul. So, I don't know. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care if they love me. I want them to stop harassing me. I don't care if they love me. I don't want their love. I want them to stop harassing me and compensate me for everything they stole from me. Because I should not have to sit in prison. I should not have to be diminished to less than human and a skeleton because some dude couldn't control himself. And then some other woman covered it up for him. I shouldn't have to sit in cells for the abusers. That's their seat now. That should have been their seat decades ago. They should never have been able to do as much chaos, destruction that they ever did. And that's because we didn't have safe protectors in our home. We had monsters. Okay. All right. Well, that was some info. It's not just cheaters though. It's murderers and pedophiles and liars and crooked officials. Why does the person, or not person, it's people, it's groups. Why do the people that hurt me get to live high off the hog off of my life? Like, my niece, right, who has played such a dirty fucking hand. I thought about this. She comes to where we live for work, which ironically my son works for the same company. She comes here for work, and I had heard some discussions, and they're like, oh, is your friend coming? So she wanted to spend so much time with my daughters because she doesn't get time, but anytime she comes here, all she ever does is takes my daughters out to do great things with them and have so much fun. Yet, because of what's fucking happened, I can't afford to take my daughters to lunch and bowling like she gets to do. I can't afford to take my daughters to get their nails done. So again, she's stealing all of the roles that I gave her and them, because that was all things that I did with her. That was all things that I did with my kids. But she gets to be a surrogate for me and make their life spectacular, and I have to sit here and take their abuse and not be able to afford to live. The abusers get to go out and have fun with my kids and live their biggest heyday because they're all funded by all the other abusers. Like, and the people that they all joined sides with, actually, you know, because I was in the trenches with all of them, the people that they joined sides with were people that they hated too. Like, my niece hated my mom. My niece hates her mom. My niece hated her dad, who is definitely a known pedo because he was 40 dating a 14-year-old. And because he liked 14-year-olds. I'm sorry, she was 15-year-old. And I was 5 when he was allowed free access in our home. They all know this. He's a man who intentionally keeps tweakers around so that he can put them in bad spots and then throw them in jail. And then he's also the one that, like, he's been linked to some accidental deaths, and then all of a sudden he has money from life insurance policies that he never had any right to have because he was estranged from the person that had an accident. Yet he got rich off of them. This is all things that these people that hated these other people know, and yet they completely turned in and clung to them. I can't even, like, my brother's girlfriend, everyone hated my brother's girlfriend, yet they're all thick as thieves and best buddies now. They all have dinners together. They all go, it's like, I saw who gave me a hard time when I was already having a hard time. And I've done a lot of therapy. They tried to call me crazy. No, I've done therapy. They refuse. So, and that is the other part of it. If they had nothing to hide, or if they weren't truly crazy, they could do a psych eval and not have any problems. They could do therapy and not have any problems, right? Like, if they were completely sane, normal, had clean hands, they would easily be able to prove what they've done. They would easily be able to have a psych eval. They would easily be able to do all of that. Yet, these are things that I have had to pay for out of pocket. And that's another reason why, the finances are super fucked. You know how much I've had to pay for out of pocket that, again, they will never step forward to do. I fought so hard to have my kids have mental health evaluations and was denied by the judge, denied by the lawyers. I was told during my court case, my lawyer had said to me, your therapist can't testify on your behalf or the kids' behalf. And I said, how exactly in abuse cases do children have advocacy if the mental health providers can't speak on their behalf? And again, they drug into court my mental health. They actually blasted that straight out. When I mentioned how my daughter had been hospitalized a great multitude of times in a very short amount of time span, they struck that from the record. I don't see, like they had said, like, I don't see what the kid's mental health capacity has to do with this case. And I'm like, maybe because while we were all living with this man, we were all depressed, medicated, therapy, to the point of hospitalization multiple times for a minor child who has since then expressed that she has ideations of hurting herself, and the lawyers, the judges, the therapists, fingers in their ears. Although they're all bought and paid for. So it's no wonder the judge won't hear me. And that was the other part. We've had some court mishaps, but there's always a specific judge that has ended up on our case. Wow, that's really easy to see. Especially when he's not supposed to be actively be in the courtroom, and the judge that was supposed to be on the case is sick the days that we happen to be there or not in court. Again, my therapist bought and paid for by this company because that was the health insurance. And then, so yeah, I guess it would make sense as to why they don't want to testify, because then they would realize that there's been a lot of lying and corruption and greed, and it really is all just greed. That man can never love me because all he loved was money and fame and status and clinging to a fragile ego. My niece who loves, she don't love anything, she loves money. I know that's a harsh whatever, but that is the reality that I've seen. Like, they say they love me with their mouth, and yet all of the evidence that stacks up against them proves that they do not love me and never did. So you don't do that to people you love. Anywho, you know what? We're gonna start with the tiles right now. I'll just start with some tiles. What information do we need to know today? Eagle. Okay, so MIIA and an eagle. So missing in action. Oh, that was the other. I have a feeling my ex should actually be highly watched because he's a flight risk. He's gonna run and try and disappear into a foreign country. The kids do. they're all going to be a flight risk. My family that lives in the woods is going to try and run. And I'm like, yep. So, okay, MIA and then I. So, I guess that was a beautiful message that, first off, they tried to make me missing in action, but they are the ones that are going to be running and hiding, and they're going to have to root out of the woods. They wanted me to live in the woods and die, and they've tried. And I can speak about like one of the horrible magical incidences where that almost happened. They tried to do that to me, and unfortunately that's what they'll be doing. I kind of want, like, it's like, it feels like an M should be in here also to be Miami, honestly. Which, I mean, it's here on the top, but eagle, so flying. They're going to be missing in action. Some eagle flying. And that's all shit I've been speaking on for years too, but nobody wanted to listen. They just wanted to accept that story because that meant that the money kept flowing to them, what they didn't ask. Okay, so the next one, L-E, I know that was missing, E-A-I. So I'm at like a Leah, Lee, Lay, Ale, A-L-E, that's my mother's initials. So it's like, I kept puzzling around, like, why is it so hard? Like, and my mother's initials, A-L-E, kept coming out. It all the roads and routes to evil go straight back to my mother. Yeah, so don't you love the tiles, Mordecai? I feel like that was I worked really hard. I searched, I spent a lot of time, energy. I want to say money, because it was like gas money. I went to so many different stores to try to find these, and yet they've been very chatty and very short amount of time. So another N, and some of this is you have to actually kind of fill in the little tiny gaps. So N-O-A-I. For me, and actually, Mordecai, my love, can you drop those in the chat, please, as I put them in? I love you. Thank you. Okay. Not like I love you. I mean, I kind of do in some ways, but I love you. Like, thank you for being the wingman on that. I appreciate that more than you can know. N-O-A-I, I think New Orleans. NOLA. And I have past life ties to New Orleans. So for me, it's like New Orleans. I just don't do really cold. I've been trying to figure out, like, mentally, like, I can't do Michigan, and I know you can't do heat, so. Okay, V-E-E-D, Veed, or, is how I see it, but Veed, or veered. We veered off the path. And I know I'm crying right now, but, like, I have so many people, so much heaviness on my shoulders. It's just constantly trying to crush me. And I'm like, when do the children and the women and the ones with no voice and the ones that need help, when do we finally get help? It really does make you feel like evil always wins, because when you ask for help, then they demonize you or make your life worse. And it's like, so it doesn't matter that's a word. It's the initials, man, and people will see it and they'll know exactly what that is. Kind of like when I pulled Leah. And how you're like, oh, I have something to tell you. It doesn't necessarily mean what, it's like whatever your brain says, like, hey, wait, that adds a piece. So even though the word doesn't make sense for you, it does for someone. And that's... Thank you, Mordecai, for reminding me to breathe. on. Thank you. As much as I try to remind you guys to breathe, like, yes, the healer needs healing too. And the lover needs to be loved. And the fighter needs to be fought for. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute. Okay, so, I'm going to express, I know crying is incredibly hard for me, and showing emotion is incredibly hard for me, and it is not something to do easily or lightly, and it has always made me a target by my family my whole life, and everyone else, right? They see someone crying, they think like, oh. And honestly, I feel like everything that's gone on, it literally feels like I'm on the ground clutching my ribs and they keep kicking me. That being said, I was told as a child often, quit crying, I'll give you something to cry about. You are meant to be seen and not heard. And I'm going to say one of the threats that was constantly just said, and yeah, it was meant to be funny, yet my family had that volatile hairpin trigger that I knew that they were not bluffing. I mean, yeah, they wouldn't maybe necessarily physically be able to do what they threatened, but I knew that they were capable of incredible, great, cruel violence. Yet, as a child, I was always told, if you don't shut up, I'm going to rip your arms and beat you over the head with them. So, I don't like crying. Because I was always threatened with horrible, grotesque things that, while it was a joke, right, I've seen what they've done. So. And, you know, being told you're too sensitive, you're a crybaby, you're this, that, and the other thing. So being vulnerable, being emotional is incredibly challenging. I don't love it, and yet I'm tired of holding the pain in for everyone that should never have made me hold that pain ever. And you can say, well, you can't change other people. I realize that, but I can't get them to leave me alone. I can't change other people, but I can't go to the police to have them leave me alone, because the police have proven that they are in their corner. I've tried going to bigger agencies and get denied, and I'm like, well, because the bigger agencies are part of it. It's anywho, yeah. Everything that they've done are a violation of human rights. I've tried contacting the UN because what they're doing violates my basic human rights. Okay, I'm gonna take a lap for a minute myself. I need to move some of that around for a second. and maybe grab another snack myself. I don't know. I'm don't love eating, but then it's like also like trying to bring sustenance so that I don't completely burn out, and also trying to ground because eating is grounding. So I'll be right back to you. Nice. You have to take care of little dude. If you didn't, I'd be super pissed at you. I hope Mordecai headbutts you to let you know that that's true. Okay. I'm just going to pull into the tarot. That's what you're meant to do. You're meant to spoil your man. Because that means that you're meant to be spoiled too. I spoil my cats, but I try not to give them a lot of treats. Just like my dog, I try not to give him a lot of treats because then they have stomach issues. And I have one big guy that already has stomach issues, so I try not to perpetuate. Okay. Seven of Coins. Finances are messy. Like for me, my finances are messy, and that has to do with all these people intervening. And that's the other part. When my mom died, my sister tried to do everything to make sure that I was not included. I did not get a dime. The other part of it that was ironic around, because when they called to tell me that I had anything coming from my mom, I was shocked, because I had been told by my mother that I was never going to get a fucking dime, and I didn't want a dime. So when the executive of her state called me to be like, hey, you're getting a little bit of something, I was incredibly shocked. I mean, I didn't get hardly anything compared to what everybody else got, but I did get something, and my sister had told that person, she's not in the will, she's not anywhere near it. So, that part. The other part of it that's ironic, that after having those conversations about the life insurance policy, or not life insurance policy, sorry, because I had asked the executor, I'm like, I had asked about a life insurance policy because I had a life insurance policy taken out on me and cashed that I did not initiate. I knew fucking nothing about. So that was like a question that came up at that time. Also though, when my mom died, which my sister was living with her, she worked in the medical field, she has access to records and stuff like that. Good. I love that Mordecai's in. Mordecai wants to talk to me, man. He hears me. He sees me. He knows. Anyway, when they had called me to tell me that I was getting something, at least anything, the person had asked me, and like I say, I was completely fucking shocked. I knew nothing. I didn't know anything. And she had asked me, because apparently someone from the camp, not me, because again, I didn't know, had already tried to initiate the paperwork on my mom's estate stuff. And let him do it, man. Just let him be part of the fray. Anyway, so my family, but they all denied it too, that they initiated the claim on her policy to start the process. So they had, someone, like I say, had jumped the gun and tried to initiate the process on her paperwork, but the only ones that were on the paperwork like that were myself, my brother, and my sister, but everyone else denied doing that, and I had no fucking idea. So there's that. The other part, there were problems with the names on the paperwork for me and another party, but she couldn't disclose who the other party was, but something was wrong about names and signatures. I do know I came from a family that has a lot of addictions, like my brother, who likes to grape little girls, has gambling addictions, and he has no qualms about hurting other people. He has no qualms about taking money from people that need it and using it for his own shit. My sister is a rip-roaring alcoholic. Her baby daddy's a rip-roaring alcoholic, and a pedo, and so yeah, it's me that they punish. And I want something to be done about it. I want something to be done about it so that I don't have to continually be attacked by people that have no right even being free to walk around. And like I say, I've exhausted myself trying to do the right thing by going to therapy while not having insurance and having to pay for it out of pocket. I've I've had psych eval, didn't have insurance, paid for it out of pocket. My business is online. They're intentionally, like, every time I hand out cards, I never get calls. So, and honestly, they have been redirecting my calls, my important mail. They've been stealing my mail. They've been redirecting my mail. Yeah. Okay. I know I got one card out and then had to speak on all of that because there really is a lot that's happened that, even when I call it into question with so many people, like people that can do something, because people always say, oh, well, don't post it here, you should try the correct avenues. I tried all of those and met dead ends. Up to the point that I tried calling the FBI 2 weeks ago to report all of this shit and got hung up on without saying hardly one sentence. Dude was incredibly rude. So, well, why didn't you ask for help? Why didn't you follow the correct channels? I did. The system failed. Whew. I lost faith in humanity. I lost faith in humanity and the fact that anyone's worth redemption. And yeah, I know not all people, yet enough people aren't standing up and saying, hey, you can't do that, to make a difference. Okay. 4 of coins. This again goes like greed, lack mindset, poverty, like holding tight. Ironically though, Ace of coins. So getting the payoff. So I hope today, sooner rather than later, because yeah. Anywho. Okay. Hi, Kane. Okay, well. Oh, 6 of Cups. This is looking at those past emotions, saying, hey, you know what, this didn't work. We've got to keep moving. That's, I'm going to say on that bullshit. I was told today by, again, someone that assists the abusers, covers their tracks, all of that it was my approach. It wasn't what I said, it was my approach. Yet, what approach was I supposed to take different with them? And the other part of it is, I'm not the one that has to change my approach. It's them as a whole entire fucking group. I do not have to change my approach with them. They have to come correct. Because again, after all of this body of everything that they've accumulated, their approach is going to have to be accountability. So the shoving it down my throat, like, you have to change your approach. No, man. Intuitively, Spirit led me to take that approach because it was shown to me that these people were never going to do right on their own. Yet they gaslight it, saying, it's me. No, it isn't. And the thing that upsets me with this one that I was talking about, I was like, I know that I raised you better. And I know that you know what I'm talking on is true. And yet you still work with them. That's what upsets me. You know who I am, yet you still believe them and protect them. And you know who they are. I don't need to change my approach. And honestly, all of this has been about trying to protect the very people that are supporting the abusers. And because they're children. I'm trying to protect my children who know and see, at least one of them does, who the fuck these people are, what's going on, and continue to protect them. Anywho. Okay, I'm gonna put those cards back in. And I know that was a lot of heaviness, and that's not anything I ever love to talk about. Like, I would rather be sunshine roses dancing in the yard, but they're never gonna let me do that. My being happy even when I have nothing infuriates them even harder, because they are not capable of finding happiness at seeing a beautiful flower. Instead, they want to destroy said flower because it's so beautiful. I know. So I don't do a lot of music stuff because I don't want to get copyright. And honestly, if I had a partner that could like do part of it, what I would probably do is have a partner that's doing like sound bowls and stuff like that, like sound stuff, so I could dance. That's the other the one thing I will say about my ex, one of them, not the big one that's creating a lot of problems. He actually would help me, like he would do sound stuff with me and for me. And when I talked about building my shit with him and, you know, build my life with him, he couldn't be found. Even though I know he has a great talent with sound, he has the great potential for talent with healing, he would rather go back to a cash grab and his mama. So yes, I would love to do like a dance stream, music dance stream, but I need to find the partner that can help support that, because I would like for it to be drumming and rattles and yes, I can do it, but it's, you know, dancing and drumming, and, you know, it's like kind of a, it's on the list, Mordecai, along with so many other projects that I have to help bring what I do to the world. I need help. I need help. I need the finances and the resources and the people and the you know, and that's the challenge. I love that this came up because I had one friend and well, A, partnered, but B, probably have the finances to be able to support copyrights. I don't have shit, because again, the people that were supposed to not hurt me have made it so that I can't do beautiful things for other people or myself. Okay, so I had a friend, and it's very frustrating because I don't know where they stand. I kind of, like, I have suspicions, but I don't know exactly where they stand. Except they're like, oh, have you thought of this product, doing this thing or this product or this service? You would be so great at it and XYZ. And I go, yes, except because I don't have the resources to do it. And I've done, the thing that she suggested is something I do want to bring forward. And I've been trying to work on that prototype for almost 2.5 years. But I don't have the time, the space, the people, the resources to be able to put out what she wants. It's on the list though. But, oh, have you thought of it? Yeah, but I don't have the people. I don't have the resources. I don't have the, yes, I want to do that. And yes, that's going to be amazing. And yes, it's going to be beneficial. But I can't put it all out by myself. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to make money to eat. Yet I can't get anybody to help So when, oh, have you thought of this? Yes, I've done that for myself, and I've done that for the people closest to me that I love, but it's not something I can bring grand scale because I have everybody constantly taking my resources and never replenishing. And like I say, actually just completely ripping my resources. So, and I had another associate, and they had said, oh, have you thought of trying this game? And they were trying to brainchild that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have time to take your game, make it for you, and then have you take it from me. Is it something I've thought about doing? Yep. Like the suggestion that you had, is it something I thought about doing? Yep. And when I can do it and I have the resources and the money, will I? Yep. But, and he's like, well, I gave you this great idea. You should run on it. And I'm like, do you know how many great ideas just like that I have that I've been trying to work from my own, but I can't ever get it out because people are constantly kicking over my fire? Anywho, yeah. Have you thought about that? Yeah, do you not think I've been trying to do that, but I can't get any help? And instead of getting help, it's literally like a whole legion of demons trying to put it out or steal it for themselves. And then, oh, where have you been? You're a bad friend. I haven't seen you. Why do you look so tired? Because I'm literally fighting huge groups of people, including government, to try and bring love and healing and light to the world. That wasn't meant as a rant, Mordecai. It was like a, yes, these are all things that I've been working, and this is the side of it, trying to be like, yes, I've been trying, but I can't. It's like as soon as I take care of one fire, the next three crop up. Okay, well, yeah, okay. Queen of Swords. So using swift, decisive action, this is the Widow Queen, the Divorce Queen. Using that logic is known as being cold, cutting, biting. And that, I mean, like, I had to Queen of Swords my life. Like, the people I never wanted to live without, I had to cut out of my life because they proved time and time again that because they couldn't be the captain, even though they weren't qualified, they were going to sink my ship. So Queen of Swords is cutting out anything not for us, cutting it out radically. And then people say, oh, well, why did you stop talking to someone so-and-so? That means you were friends for so long, blah, blah, blah. You know that person's abusive and my life is better and happy without them. Why are you giving me a hard time for doing what was best for myself and my family? I had that happen with, I had said I cut a friend off, which my kid didn't even like that friend. She despised that friend. And yet I saw something that I was like, yep, I don't want them around my kids. And when they're like, well, you don't have any friends and you ruin everything. No, man. It's like, if I can't trust them with my man, my money, my food, or my children, and not in that particular order, but those are like my, if I can't trust you with my back turned with my food, I do not want you anywhere near me. If I can't trust you with my partner, because you would be inappropriate when I walked that, you're not allowed in my section. If I can't trust you with my kids because you're going to do something to them, you're not welcome. If I can't trust you with my money, I don't want you anywhere near me. Yet, and this person saw that, but it was like, I cut that person off for your safety because them and their family were performing predatory behavior, and I saw it and they did it to me. What would they do to a teenager or a baby? I would rather not have a friend like that. Yet, yeah. I got major heat for cutting that person off. And I was like, I cut that person off because I saw that what they would have done to you. And then their whole family covered that too. Like the whole family was behind covering the predators. And actually being like, no, you have to let them do that. I have to walk out that door and never call you again. The sun is on the bottom. The sun is the most auspicious card, like the happiest. For me, the sun is Leo energy. And again, that goes straight back to my mom. And, you know, there are some astrological signs that I wish they would disappear off the face of the earth. And I've never had a good experience with a Leo. I know that's harsh to hear, and I know the Leos in the room are going to be like, well, I'm not like that. You know what? Every Leo, for me personally, our contracts have been shit. So, yeah. As the best friend zodiac, there are certain zodiac signs that I never want to have anywhere near my ship ever again. Leo is one of them. I relish the person that would step forward and prove me wrong in my theory, but it hasn't happened yet, and it's been 23 years for one very specific Leo and 42 years for the original Leo that fucked my life. Yeah, I don't ever... Yeah. Again, harsh, yet this is release. This is release for other people too, because it's like, how does my story help you, or how does this resonate to you, or how does me being able to express my heavy story allow you to be able to express your heavy story and find your healing and help someone in your energy that can need it. Okay. Anyway. Hi, Azira. Ace of Cups. Love offer, emotional stability. That offer's coming in. How was your goth rave last night? Five of Cups. There's been emotional lack, being left out in the cold, which is, if you're here and you're part of my vibe, that'll probably resonate. Maybe not all of my story, maybe a huge part of my story resonates. And if it does, then you need to start standing up and saying, hey, this isn't right, and telling your story so other people can help you. Anywho, King of Wands. Fiery, passionate, not, again, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius with King of Wands. The star, shining bright, being the star of your own life. Cool. Happy for you. Long. The star, standing bright, shining. Rising above. Strength, having you strength, fortitude, wrestling the Leo, wrestling the lion, taming the beast. Devil on the bottom. Addictions. Coping. Let it go. Because it's withholding you from 10 of Cups. Happily ever after. Financial stability. Love. Wish fulfillment. And when I started dreaming of the what the best future could look like before I ever knew about 10 of Cups, it was the 10 of Cups. That's what I saw before ever knowing what 10 of Cups was. So it is ironic how even before we ever know something's a possibility or reality, we see it with our mind's eye because we know that that's what's coming for us. I'm glad you were hanging out last night, Mordecai, and enjoying life. I as well tried to do the same. Very sleepy though. Had a long night. A long night with a good friend. King of Swords. So this little bitch, King of Swords, and I do say little bitch because I saw it come out originally and I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to bring it out. I tried ignoring him. I put him back in the deck twice and he just keeps popping out. So the King of Swords. Every time, okay, so like for me personally, King of Swords is like the nemesis. Yeah. So every time I see King of Swords, I'm like, no, motherfucker, you don't get to rain on my parade today. For me, King of Swords was a Gemini from born and raised in Greece who wasted my time for, oh God, he's wasted my time for over 2 years. So every time I see the King of Swords, it's because, I want to date you, yet every time I give him an opportunity to show up, he leaves me high and dry. And I just stop, and then he still thinks I'm interested now. Like, I gave him the cold shoulder for so fucking long, but he's still creeping on my socials. He's still thinking that I want to be anything to him. And I'm like, you don't understand. If you don't move your feet, I'm not part of this with you. So the fact that he's had over 2 years to try to have anything with me and he still can't, no. So every time I see King of Swords, I think like, yeah. I find out like hanging out with devil energy anymore. I don't like being a devil anymore. So when you're like, I was a devil last night, I'm like, yep, that doesn't, no thanks. I don't like drinking anymore because, yeah. A Chariot. Moving swiftly. Knowing what we want, being decisive, balancing it out. Two of Swords, stalemate. Not knowing which way to go, having to take the blindfold off, just cutting away anything that is not for you. Radically. Don't care if it hurts feelings. On the bottom, it's King of Pentacles. So it's affecting, again, stability, your financial stability. Being in that devilish energy potentially could be affecting your financial stability. Queen of Pentacles, it's affecting the ability to bring in counterpart financial stability. Judgment just popped out. And pop back in. We'll see if she comes out again. 10 of Wands, putting down all the burdens, not carrying them anymore. Don't carry other people's weight. Okay, 8 of coins. We've done the financial work, the toil and labor. We have to let it go. We've planted the seeds. The world, which makes me always think like the world is a vampire. So the world is changing in your favor. The cycles have to close. The high priestess sitting in that embodiment of using every element within the environment to bring forth what we want. King of coins, that financial stability. We're going to be bringing in that financial stability. 3 of swords, there's been heartbreak, betrayal. Gotta let it go. Let the people go. Let that go. Well, I always carved pumpkins for my kids. I hated carving pumpkins, and yet I also loved it too. And can't even tell you how many years it's been since I've carved a pumpkin. And honestly, it's been at least 4 years since I've celebrated any holidays and or felt any kind of love. And the holidays used to be my favorite time of year. Yeah, I haven't been to a pumpkin patch in I don't know when. It's a reality I don't know, Mordecai. Just like being able to spend a weekend alone, like locked away with someone I love and enjoy. That's the reality I've never known. It sounds beautiful on paper. Hot cocoa and cold weather and activities and pumpkin patches and sounds great, but I've never known it, so I'd like to. I'd like to know what it feels like to wake up on Christmas and have a beautiful morning and somebody that loves me and have presents for me. Anywho, okay. Well, let's get back into the cards because that's messy and shitty. In reality, I guess, like that is the reality. Like from this side of the fence of those all sound like beautiful, great things, but not everyone has experienced them. I mean, yeah. I envy the people that had loving families and loving childhood and growing up and knowing what security and happiness and all of that felt like. I don't. High Priestess and 3 of Swords, so High Priestess and betrayals. I'm trying so hard to make my life beautiful, and maybe it's just not meant for me. Maybe it's not in the cards for me to know what happiness and love is. I've tried. I have changed myself. I have changed myself and my environment and my life so much, only to be told every time no and the door slammed in my face. I mean, I do kind of feel like Cinderella, like that glass slipper only fits me, but I can't even have the person that has the glass slipper to show up to my door to know where I am. Like, I keep waiting and hoping that one day it'll be me, yet It never is, and I'm not mean to sound like a big fucking crybaby. I'm just tired. Tired. It's watching everyone around me that is awful win while I'm still stuck. I love Beauty and the Beast too, and yeah, it does feel like that too. It's like being trapped in a castle, but then having the townspeople come for my love because they want me more than my love does. Yeah, I don't know. I do feel very much like Belle, especially because I'm nerdy and love to read, and I do very much love the Beast because I realize underneath it all, he isn't the Beast, and he is under a spell. And I keep hoping that true love will break the spell, yet that doesn't seem to be happening either, and the townspeople are coming. I don't know. I don't know if I believe, life is a fairy tale. In a lot of ways, life is a fairy tale, and a lot of those stories do have basis to it, but then at the other time, it's like, okay, but romantic comedies, it doesn't work out that way. There isn't actually, or maybe there is, I just haven't experienced it yet. I don't know. I know I've put in a lot of work and effort and hard whatever on my own end, but people keep trying to rewrite me out of history and rewrite my stories so that they look like Gaston. Okay, well, let's go down the Disney rabbit hole for a minute. I do feel kind of like Cinderella. I felt like that since I was a kid. I also do live in a house with magical creatures that assist on my journey. So there's part of that for Cinderella. I definitely have been kept away by an evil mother / stepmother and her siblings and children, and I was denied access to the ball. I definitely have a fairy god parent because it's both masculine and feminine. You know what, Mordecai? I'm just gonna say I'm a real catch, man. Think of that while you're stepping out. King of Coins, financial stability, abundance. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Page of Cups. Page of Cups, that's those emotional... That's like those immature emotions that are causing problems. Oh, well, you know what? I hope everything comes out in the end. And shaking it more than twice is considered playing with it, so do with that what you will. Go pee. Just make sure you wash your hands. That's probably about the nicest thing I've been called recently, so... Two of Cups, love, stability. You know, and actually that's probably the most, I've probably found more comfort and kindness and love from you, a stranger, than I have from the people that love me. And like I say, that's the nicest thing I've been told in a minute, so that feels sad as fuck. Okay, Two of Cups. Bring in that love, that stability, that happiness, that unity. Page of Swords, cutting through, moving swift, using the emotions that you have to get out of there. The sun will come out tomorrow. That was a whole musical I used to sing a lot as a kid. Feels relevant. Four of Cups, sitting in that emotional lack. We're clinging on to, or Four of Coins, clinging on to money. Greed is a factor with all of this. People being afraid of lack. Oh, Ace of Coins, the financial abundance is coming. Six of Swords, moving away to safety. Almost as if being moved by the divine. And the Lovers. Gemini, finding that counterpart, that other half, the light to your dark. And then the Empress sitting in that, it's bringing in beautiful abundance, fertility, stability, sitting in the divine power of knowing that you are the Empress. Okay. Well, those are all repeaters from earlier. I don't feel like going over them again. Okay. The Empress. Okay. Well, we're just gonna... The message keeps repeating. Which I guess if the message keeps repeating, that means we need to listen to it. Because it'll keep repeating until you listen to what it has to say. I'm gonna bring some sound bowls in. We're gonna do some sound bowls because that's what I want. That's what I want. And since no one else gives me what I want, I might as well give myself what I want. Sometimes, so this is where I learned to lean into intuition, because people, like, I think of musicians who get super, this is like an example of Max, like he would have to get everything perfect. Well, what I realized is you have to lean into intuition and follow what is divinely guided, because when you follow intuition, the universe will cultivate for you exactly what you need. So don't be so stuck in like, oh, you have to play this note exactly right, blah, 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 blah. Or, no, it was like curated for you in just that moment. So even when there's weird skids like that, it's like, no, that's exactly what universe wanted or needed, and that's how it goes. So, I don't know. Whereas he was a control freak, I'm exactly, like, radically had to try and be exactly the opposite. Because he had to control everything. I learned to embrace and flow into being able to control nothing. An example of this was as a married partner to him. It was always like work always took precedence over everything else. It was like I would make plans to go to a concert, but because of weather or delays or the schedule, I never got to have plans. I never made plans because I never knew if my partner was going to be with me. I never knew if I was going to have a babysitter. I never knew if I was going to have to pivot and do anything else. So, yeah, I guess embrace and lean into the chaos and unpredictability of life. It's like when people want me to follow a schedule and I'm like, they'll be like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, unless it's a really big deal, the day is written as we go. Because to try and plan it, it's never going to go to plan. So, yeah. The side note I'm going to make on, like, the control freak part of it. This was a man that could not control himself, yet he tried to control me. And then he grouped up with a bunch of people, a bigger bunch of people that definitely couldn't control themselves, to try and control me. That sounds like insanity and a recipe for disaster for him and all parties involved. None of them could control themselves. I can control me. They can't control themselves. And then they all got together in a group to try and control me. They're all even worse, like energetic, messy-wise than I am. Yet, that was the whole point. You can't control nature or the divine, so them trying to control me is a recipe for their house to be left in the ashes. Trying to cage a phoenix and control a flame that was not meant to be controlled is about the most dangerous situation. And they've gotten burned, and they've been warned, and yet they think that that's going to work out for them, not realizing that it is actually bringing down their whole entire structure. And Phoenix/flames are not consumed, they just ascend and transcend. And I know I'm a Phoenix. I've known that a very long time. It was the ones around me that couldn't use their observation to know that that was about the stupidest idea they could do. I was literally just wondering if you were going to be back, and then you popped, my love. No, I don't have a camera in your house. I don't got time for that. I literally was just wondering if you were going to be back, and then you go. Although that's the irony. I am right. Yet everyone wants to deny me. They should be paying me and trying to figure out how they can utilize that for themselves for good. That was the whole point, where I need to release some shit. And there's some unfriendly energy around that makes me not want to talk real big right now. That's the other part. When the ops are in my energy and they think I don't know. No, man. I know. When I get sent spell work and they think she'll never know that, and I love, because like my ex would say it about other things. They would be like, how does she do that? I have heard him say that before through like the ethers, in that like there was no way she could ever know. No, I know. Especially the ops, it leaves like this black, ugly gunk on me and in my aura. So when they're like, we weren't anywhere near you, no, I feel mad, and I know. It's not you I'm worried about, Mordecai. And you know that. Well, and that's the irony. When I'm dead balls right on stupid shit that I should never know, and I keep saying, hey, I feel you, I know what you're doing, and they continue to do it, it just angers me even more. It's like when I can tell people have been in my home when I've been out, I get angry, raging angry. And it's like, I shouldn't know. They have left every indication that they're not in my space and my energy. And yet it makes me so fucking pissed because they violate my free will time and time and time again. And I call it and I'm right on it. Yet they still keep thinking I'm stupid. I may be merciful. My ancestors are not. And my ancestors give me the 411 when people are doing shit they're not supposed to. So they keep still thinking it's funny. They keep doubling down. Yet don't understand why their life is about you completely. And I do mean completely. This is what the energy bowl is bringing out for me. It's like that deep-rooted shit that no one wants to hear, and it does fuck up the vibe. That's what the bowl, that's what their energy is bringing out in me. So that's where that goes. It's bringing out the shit, because I'm tired of people, again, playing in my fucking face. No, it's meant to release. That's why I always sing Let It Go. It brings everything up, even the really uncomfortable shit, and it's meant to. Because I'm tired of people playing and thinking like, oh, she don't know. No, I do. That is the part of it with singing bowls, Reiki, all of that. It does bring out, like, it makes you feel good, but it also brings out that deep-rooted shit. That's why people don't want to do it. And yet, if you can't feel it, you can't heal it. So when I let the really deep shit out, that's because it's meant to be brought up. And the people that are playing in my face, that watch this, that think I don't know, I see you, and I call you out. Because you have been trespassing against free will. Which breaks universal law, which means you just got in trouble with Big Daddy or Big Mama. And they're not merciful. They're working for the highest good of the whole collective. That means all the people that you tried to suppress, the women and children, you have a bigger problem to answer to. these people that don't believe in God are about to be praying to someone that they don't believe in and realizing that phone ain't gonna be answered. And the devil that they prayed to is going to denounce them because the devil that they prayed to knows that they fucked up too. There is a pecking order. So many people are going to be screaming out and left unheard because they knew better. And they still did it anyway. We'll say very Anubis. Very weigh your heart against a feather and you chose wrong every time. Making my Reiki hand cramp and vibrate, and that's also part of that anger coming up off to be released, and that's old, that's primordial. Yeah, I know the change is happening. And okay, so you want to talk about some bigger level shit. The poles changed direction, so, and people want to deny that. No, the poles changed direction. The earth literally flipped up on its axis. And they can deny it. And that's also the part where change needs to happen on a social, societal level. And the people that are fighting real hard to cling to the old system, they literally will be wiped off the face of the earth like they tried to wipe off the face of the earth the people that have been helping integrate the change. It does. I just gave you Mordecai, I just gave you some free tea, baby. Some bigger tea. It really is bigger and deeper. And the people that have been trying to fix the scale in their favor are going to realize that they cannot. As much as they try to, and I spoke on this the other day, silencing and suppressing the seer means that we still see what's happening, we just can't warn you. And all you're doing is literally driving faster towards that wall at 100 miles per hour while drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette, with blindfolds on, with all of the innocent people in the back not being able to stop you. And we can't say shit. It really is cutting off your nose to spite your face. And then the ones that try to copy my gift, but they don't have the vibrational match because they didn't do the work, are actually leading the people faster towards the wall. That really is a tale as old as time, yet it's time to be rewritten. I love that you're watching the weather change. I feel like I should have gone outside to read today, and yet the energy outside right now is hostile as shit. So, and I have a lot of people driving by and creating disturbances. So I love being outside, and yet I know when it's not good to be outside. So it's the seeing part of it. And that has been leading me since I stepped into the spiritual path. It has been intuitively led, which ironically when my daughter's like, oh, well, you start acting crazy and out of character. Yeah, because the way that I was doing it before, that's how they were going to get me tripped up, because they gaslight me on my intuition. My intuition has been super right on. So suppressing and silencing my gifts like they want is incredibly dangerous for all of the people involved that are innocent. If I had listened to my ex, he would have years ago at his hand. And they've done it on paper, so technically it looks real problematic for my ex and my family when they have on paper made me and then I'm still alive. That's why they're scared. They don't have the answers. I would adore it. I would adore it. I want to be in the water. I want to be by the water. I've needed the water for 2 years, and I keep getting denied that too. Like, they literally have grounded me, so I can't fly, I can't move, I can't do shit. I'm gonna have to send you some beautiful pictures I have of the trees in the last 2 days. I watched it, so we had chatted about the leaves yesterday falling like rain, and as I was sitting watching outside my window, because that's as far a vacation as I get right now, I watched the leaves rain down, and I thought of you, and I thought of how beautiful it is and how I'd love to enjoy it with someone. It's kind of like when you talked about sitting on the lake and drinking your coffee in the morning and having a cigarette. I'm like, gosh, I wish I could be there more than anything in the world. Because that is something that I love at my core and that I do when I'm capable. Haven't been able to do it for a while, and definitely haven't ever had someone sit next to me that I could enjoy that with. So. We are more alike than you realize, Mordecai. Anywho, okay, well, maybe someday you'll have someone that loves to do that with you, and maybe someday I'll have someone that I can do that with, but I'm glad you get to explore that opportunity. There are women that would enjoy the shit out of that with you, and yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna get into the root chakra and do some clear, and then I may have to check sometimes. I have some more pressing obligations by people that are going to yank my chain and be a dick. So, and while it's not something I want to participate in, it is something I do have to participate in, because these are players that won't leave me alone like they've been instructed and violate my free will and aren't held accountable by the people that are supposed to hold them accountable. And actually, at the biggest core, they need to hold themselves accountable like they hold me accountable. Anyhow, I know that was some heavy ass shit. Okay, I'm gonna ring out the root chakra. Let me take a. Let me be a fiend for a second. Yeah, I already started trying to clear out that car horn. Well, you said wait a minute, so I listened. Make up your mind. Don't be an Aries. Decide what you want and stick to it. I do too, because I'm running out of time. My time right now is finite. That's what nobody realizes. My time is finite. Any time you have with me isn't always, it's never going to be long enough. Because once I'm not able to deliver anymore for the people that need it, I have to go because I have to take care of me. I mentioned that yesterday because Aries are known as the fighter sign. So when I saw that, and I mean, I know because I have Aries, when I saw that, I was like, yep, no, that's right. I literally just mentioned that to an Aries yesterday, that they were banned from a club. And I love that they're making Geminis pay double because Geminis are fuckwits. Except for you don't know how to not fight when you have fun. So it's like we mitigate the risk by banning the Aries. For me, it's like I ban Leos in my life, period. Leos are not allowed in my club. I know that sounds like, nope. Every Leo that has entered my life has... Yeah, they're not allowed. I was thinking about that today when I went out for a walk with the dog. I was like, yeah, Leos are never on the list. They don't get entry. Yep. I do not. Leos, no. My baby daddy, my first baby daddy, the one that's still angry at me 20 plus years later, even though he didn't contribute a goddamn thing, is mad at me and dissed me to my son. And I'm like, be so fucking for real. No, I wouldn't ban you, Mordecai. I'm allies with Aries. You guys are my counter sign. Leos, though, Leos can go suck a big fat dong until they do right. My baby daddy's a Leo. I cannot. My mom's a Leo. The most recent ex that was a little bitch coward was a Leo. No, get the fuck out of here. I know that's harsh, but prove me wrong. Not all Leos. No, for me, all Leos. At least the ones that were like the primary foundations. So, I mean, I'll help Leos, but they aren't allowed in the club because they always ruin the scene. Yeah. Well, because they can't be the royalty with us, like with that person. Because that was the other part. I would bring something to the most recent Leo. I would bring something that was cool, and then he would try to overpower me with something he wanted to show me, but actually completely detracted. And I'm like, so, yeah. No, I don't like being around Leos because the show has to always be about them when it clearly was never about them. At least not in my story. They tried to steal the show because I actually had better than them. I was better than them. And they tried to steal the show. And I'm like, it's the equivalent, like for me, Leos are the equivalent of the kid that gets in the pool and shits and everybody has to get out. And it's never the same until it's been properly deep cleaned and the time has passed. So I'm like, I don't even want the Leos in the pool because I'm like, if all you're going to do is come in and ruin it for me because you can't be the owner of the pool and you didn't even pay for any of that rights to be the owner of the pool. Yeah. I know that's harsh and I don't give a fuck. I've had so much happen in my life that it's my life and I can say who is allowed in it and who's not. If they don't like it, that's too bad. They can go live their life with whoever they want. Well, hold on. Because now I'm going to give him a lovely little, like, he's going to do like a nice little stretch and then get into a good sleep. Just wait. Because he's got something he needs to release too. Wait till I teach you some Reiki and you can do some Reiki on him. And then you'll see a completely different kitty. I do Reiki on my animals all the time. I know. Just wait. Sound healing is not just for humans. You should see what happens when my cats will all be over here sleeping, except for the ones that rile them up are about to walk right back into this house, which is also why I'm doing sound healing right now, to bring any type of comfort, healing, relief before all hell breaks loose again. Yep. He's not going to attack you. See, you don't just come for healing for you, your kitty gets healed too. Alright, well. I have an effect with animals. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to speak on this for a moment or two. And this was before I had vision to be able to see during meditation and all of that. And I used to go, the place they originally started all this with, I used to go and I would do meditation and various things there with them. And one of the guys who I absolutely adored, and he's adorable, and he's a man I would have liked to have kind of gotten a little relationship with, but that was guided away, and that's best for both of us. But he did give some great insight. And one day when we were sitting there meditating, And he had said to me, he's like, yes, I saw you. He's like, you are the great divine mother. Like, you're like an earth mother. I'm like, yeah. I'm here to help with the animals and the kids and all of humanity and help the earth transition to higher vibrations. It's hard to do, though, when a lot of people are trying to stop that. Yes, I am a divine cosmic mother, yet I need assistance. Like, I can make beautiful meals, but it's hard to do with scraps and poison.